My name is Victor DeNoble. I'm a scientist. My specialty is drug addiction, but I don't work with people. I work with animals, mostly rats. I'm here to tell you a story. The story begins a long time ago. So I'm going to show you the end of the story first. The end of the story is those seven people. Those seven people, they ran the 7 tobacco companies in our country, and they testified in Washington. They told Congress under oath nicotine wasn't a drug and nicotine wasn't addictive. But these 7 people didn't know that while they were testifying in Washington, my wife and I were also in Washington. We were being protected by members of the President's Secret Service and the FBI. At the end of several weeks, the FBI would bring me before Congress. I would tell Congress under oath I was a scientist. I would tell Congress under oath I did drug research. I would tell Congress under oath I had scientific proof that nicotine changes the structure of this little organ. I know you can't see it, but it's a rat's brain. Most importantly, I would tell Congress under oath I discovered that nicotine changes the way a rat's brain works while I worked inside a tobacco company. And that's where my story begins, 41 years ago. I'll show you what nicotine looks like. There it is right there. Nicotine gets into your body. Doesn't care how it gets in. You can smoke a cigar, cigarette, spit tobacco, you can vape. You see, once a drug is in your blood, like nicotine, like cocaine, heroin, alcohol, once it's in your blood, it enters your brain. And it slowly begins to change the way our brain works. Brain cells are the only cells in your body that don't touch. They're actually separated by a space. And so for them to communicate, they have to send chemical messages across those spaces, and they're called neurotransmitters. And there's lots of them. But the one that's really interesting and important to this discussion is a thing called dopamine. Dopamine is the key to drug addiction. But dopamine is also natural in our brain. In fact, dopamine is the neurotransmitter that's responsible for our emotional feelings of well-being. For example, let's pretend that this is no dopamine in your brain, and this is all the dopamine your brain can make. Well, most of us are right here in the middle, and we're pretty happy. If you're down here, well, this is called depression. And you're in the middle, and all of a sudden you get home and you found out that you really did well on a test. Well, your dopamine goes up. When your dopamine goes up, you feel pretty darn good. You're happy. And then it comes back down to the middle again. Or you're not doing well on a test, or you have an argument with one of your friends, or your dopamine goes down and you're depressed, a little depressed. But you come back to the middle. What does this have to do with drug addiction? Well, you see, every addictive drug, every one, morphine, cocaine, heroin, alcohol, PCP, THC, methamphetamine, nicotine, they take your dopamine levels out here. They force our brain to do something it's not meant to do. That's the process of addiction. And then once our brain cells get used to all that dopamine, we don't come back to the middle anymore. We go from here to here. Depression. And the only way for us to feel normal again is to use that addictive drug. You see, drug addiction isn't the fact that drugs make you feel good. Drugs make you be able to feel normal. So this is what our brain looks like. Most kids think brains are pink, and they're not pink. You know, that's in the books they're pink. There's only 2 colors in our brain. There's gray and there's white. It kind of sits in your head like that. Now this is half a brain. I cut it in half so you can take a look at it. And this is kind of what's in the middle of it. But I wanted you to see this because to me, this is the most important organ in our body. You can't live without it. You can get a heart transplant. You can get a lung transplant. You can get a liver transplant. You can change blood. You can get skin grafts. This is it. This is it. And people who are getting to try to get you to use drugs, they're after the one organ in your body that you can't do without. The best way for somebody to get addicted to a drug is to inhale it. So those things are designed to deliver maximum amount of drug into your brain the fastest way possible by inhaling it. This is by design. It's because the primary objective of these products is to rob your brain. It's to take control. It's to make you a cash cow, to make you spend your money on their product.
Wow, what an amazing story. Thanks, Dr. DeNoble. You've given us more than enough evidence to close this case. So here it is. All the evidence against vaping and all the evidence for vaping. Goose egg. Seriously, faced with all this evidence right in front of you? Come on. Can you give me one good reason to defend vaping? I didn't think so. The bottom line is, e-cigarettes are designed to deliver the maximum amount of addictive chemical into the brain in the most efficient way possible. Oh, and by the way, there are also lots of other poisons that can mess up the lungs, the heart, the list goes on. If someone vapes, they're like a fish with a hook in its mouth, and the big vaping companies are the fishermen. Keeping people addicted keeps the money flowing to them, and that's all they care about. It's that simple. That's the facts. Just the facts. On behalf of Discovery Education, Catch Global Foundation, and the CVS Health Foundation, we'd like to thank Dr. Victor DeNoble, Dr. Christy Sadramelli, and Mario Brinkman for being a part of our program. And we'd also like to thank you for watching Be Vape Free. Just the facts. See ya!